Check this out. We're back with my FMS 0. Nice looking warbird, isn't it? But I think we can make it look a little bit better. Today I'm going to show you how I airbrush these beautiful warbirds. Because it's got nice deep panel lines in this warbird. Very nice, very deep panel lines. Pity our wires weren't painted the same colour as the plane, but not much we can do about that. Good enough. Lots of panel lines we can airbrush, put the weathering in them, isn't it? I've had a little bit of practice on my mini E-sheen Spitfire. Just highlight all these panel lines in the bird. Looks nice. It will look a little bit better in the natural light. This artificial light is a bit shiny sometimes and you can't see the black as much, but in the natural light you can see it a lot better. Just underneath, we've got no panel lines underneath, so just a few stripes, a little bit of smoke off the guns. Looks nice, doesn't it? A little bit up the side there. Don't need too much. Nice looking bird. Got my airbrush kit. Just bought it. You can buy these anywhere, just off eBay. Find this one a lot easier to use. A bit easier with the trigger down the bottom rather than that trigger up the top. A lot easier. Yes. And as I found out, you've got to be careful with this plastic. It doesn't like the thinners. This plastic goes all sticky. Comes with different tips. Got 0.8, 0.5, and I don't really remember what's in the gun. Maybe it's 1 mil. I don't remember. Nice long cord. Here's my little compressor. If you're in Australia, you know this brand. Brought the whole kit. Nice long lead on it, really handy. Hopefully it shouldn't be too loud in the camera. Today I'll be using a water-based paint. In my last video I used acrylic, so we'll try out some water-based. Not as good to use. It's a little bit thick. I have had a practice on the other plane. A little bit thick. I just mix a little bit of tap water with it, thin it out a little bit more. Good enough. So let's get into it. Got my paint mixed up. Just had to add a little bit of water to it. It's definitely way too thick. You don't want it too thick or it won't come out of the gun. So that's there. My box acts as a stand for the airbrush, which is perfect, off the end of the bench. And it's good to have a little bit of cardboard so you have a little practice on. Just adjust your air pressure. The little knob on the bottom of it adjusts the air pressure, the flow. My compressor is set to 50 psi, but it's a little bit high, so I just turn it down a little bit, just there. And at the end there, you can adjusts the needle in and out, I think, how much fluid you want. So air pressure, that little knob, fluid at this end. Got my plastic credit card, very handy for this sort of job. Okay, where do we start? We've got lots of panel lines. It's mainly what I want to highlight. Run along the panel line. Yes, and this unnatural light does give you the false illusion that you're not putting too much on. You go out in the sun, it'll look a lot more weathered. Run along there. You can just a couple of streaks now and again. Probably won't show you everything that I do. A little bit on the front there. Dirty it up a little bit. Don't have to be too fussy. Remember, the dirt will flow back, won't it, with the airflow? So that's what you're trying to achieve, isn't it? Hey. Try and point down into those grooves a bit. They're very deep grooves. Might be a bit too deep. Starting to look better already. What do you think? These curves are a little bit harder. Remember, the dirt gets stuck on little round things, doesn't it? A little bit on the where the bomb's supposed to go there. A little bit around your front, of course, later on. Run along this panel line. Of course, your card is a bit of a guide, especially when you're starting out, to see where you're going to be. See that? So you might want to keep washing your card. See how it sort of shows you where you're going to be. So it's quite handy to start on the card. My airbrush got blocked up, I guess. Stopped spraying a bit, so I just thinned out the paint just a little bit more, just to help it, and maybe just turn up the pressure a little bit more. So let's get back into it. I found this water-based paint, it doesn't like being too thin because it stays wet, and you have to be careful because it stays wet a bit longer than the acrylic. Acrylic dries instantly. I think it is easier to work with, but the water-based is better for your health, isn't it? Clean my card, good to keep it clean, and we'll move along. Go is heavy. Well, we're blocked up again. A little bit more dirt on the wingtips, isn't it? That was a bit heavy. Doesn't matter, good enough. Look at these beautiful panel lines. Push that down a little bit so I can see where those panel lines continue. Not spraying real nice. You wouldn't think the water base would block your gun up, but it does. Just added some more water to me paint. It just keeps blocking up. Not real good paint, this water based stuff. Now we're too heavy. Just a little bit on that line there, just give me a little false line. Across here. False line. Looking better already. Good false line across here. Looks nice, eh? Give it a wipe. Definitely would prefer acrylic paint, I think. Does go a bit, where you go a bit heavy, because I've put so much water in it, does go a bit funny looking. Yeah, but it's looking nice. Looking nice. How's that? Looking nice. A little bit under our front here, around the nose. Few streaks. The dirt will fall to the bottom, won't it? My compressor's bouncing on the floor actually. It's moved. A little bit of dirt coming off our wheel there. Do that a little bit for you. Gets a bit more dirty on the wing tips. What do you think? Highlight that edge there. Oh, a little bit wet. A little bit too wet. Not spraying perfect this water-based paint. Sometimes it goes on heavier than other times, so yeah, it's good enough. Definitely, I think I prefer the acrylic. And this black is a blue black, which I'm not too happy about. I think the red black does look nicer. The red black looks more like rust, which is what I think you need on a warbird. We've got to have the rust, don't we? A little bit hard to get into there. Spray a bit over there. What do you think? Not too bad? Don't want it too heavy. So I got all the underside all done. Didn't want to bore you with the whole operation. And don't forget about your tank. Look at the paint. Tried to put it on a bit thicker on the front, but it just goes all funny. There's the underside all done for you. Close up shot. Looks nice. A little bit on the wheels. Oh, there's our tail there. Good enough. Highlight all the lines. Good to do underneath first, bit of practice. Got our wheels on now. Now we'll start on the top. Dark green, so mightn't see the black as much. Won't stand out as much, but it'll be alright. Let's get started on the top. Maybe it's a good thing this paint isn't very strong. I've had to water it right down. Means I won't put on as much, will I? Put a little bit more on the front. A little bit more where the exhaust might blow up the side too. Just like this. What do you think? Looking nice so far. What do you think? Doesn't like too much put on at the same time. Sorry about the noise, the lead's rubbing on the end of the bench. And put a little bit on the side here. Better not tipping gun over. Try and do those lines. That's the canopy. Need to wash my card again. Highlight a bit along there. Of course the front's black, so we don't need nothing on that. Move it along, do a bit more of the wing here for you. Looking nice. What else you do on a wet day? You can't go flying, so you may as well airbrush a plane, eh? Not really good summer weather in Australia at the moment. Terrible weather. Terrible. Quite cold, really, for summer. 25 degrees every day. It's perfect weather, really. Not too hot. Haven't been able to fly this beautiful bird yet. Haven't been able to maiden it. So I thought I may as well airbrush it before I crash it, hey? I do like crashing. Not really, but it's part of the hobby, isn't it? Going to crash sooner or later. Especially when you can't get the CG. Gonna need lots of lead in this one. Probably need lots of lead in the front of this one. I was looking at my local hardware store the other day and they sell flat lead on a roll. So I might just buy that. Probably be cheaper to buy a whole roll rather than... How's that look? Probably cheaper to buy a whole roll of lead rather than buy wheel weights. Lead wheel weights are a bit expensive here. I don't know where you buy them from. eBay. So I might just buy a whole roll of lead. It'll work out cheaper for me. How's that looking? Looks nice. Highlights those panel lines, doesn't it? When you haven't got the shine of the lights on it. Looking nice. Pretty good. I'll finish off the other side now. How's that look? We're all done. I just put my spinner on. I thought about just putting a little bit of weathering on the spinner, but I don't think I'll worry about it. Yeah, we won't worry about that. It's good enough. I like it shiny. How does it look? Not too bad. Tail's all done. Still wet. Takes a long time for this water-based stuff to dry. I'll probably put it out in the natural light. It probably might be a little bit heavy maybe, because it definitely does look different under these lights. Different angles, what do you think? I'm quite happy with it. for some cheap dodgy paint. All those panel lines definitely stand out now, don't they? Definitely see it a lot more on that light colour. A little bit around our wheels too. They get a bit dirty, the wheels, don't they? Don't forget the wheels. Looks nice. Time to clean out a gun now. Now remember, you need to clean your airbrush out. Probably the worst part of the airbrushing. You need to clean it out thoroughly. I've cleaned it out with tap water thoroughly, with the compressor still on, blowing it through. And then I'll wash it out with some acrylic thinners. I've got a set of these little micro brushes. They must have come with the Airbrush Kit with the compressor when I bought it, I guess, and come from somewhere. So I'll start off with, this plastic doesn't like the acrylic thinners. We'll pull that off. Just unwind that knob there. That slides off, so that's real handy. There we go, nice and clean now. We pull this part here off. Pull that out. There's our needle. Got to be careful not to bend that needle. Just give it a little clean with some thinners. Slide that back in. You just got to line up that little groove there. That'll go back in easy. Onto our front, pull off all these little nozzles. 1, 2. The little tiny spanner comes with the kit. Undo that. Come on. Oh, there we go. We got a little head that pops out of that. Paint will get stuck inside there. It's all small parts. That's the problem. But take our pot off the top. Now we can get our little brushes inside all that head. Inside there. Clean it out properly. It's ready for next time then. You won't have a problem. Maybe soak that for a little while with some acrylic thinners. That'll clean out nice then. There you go. Looks a little bit different now, doesn't it? Looks a lot different. Hopefully it's going to look good in the sky. Hopefully I haven't weathered it too much. You never know under all these lights. So can't wait to maiden this. Fly it a few times, get used to it. Try out the gyro. I have got another video how I fitted a little gyro inside this. I'll put the links below for you, and also I'll put the link below to my other airbrushing video of the Dynam Hawker where I used acrylic. I think you would definitely struggle, I think, to use this water-based paint on a big plane. Could be a problem. My spray gun kept blocking up. It didn't spray real nice. Definitely sprayed a lot better with the acrylic paint. But it's good enough. Looks nice, doesn't it? Hope this has helped someone. Thanks for watching.